Hello, I'm Jenny Parker, your online lecturer for EDM 113. In this video, I'm going to talk about how to get started on Task 1. I'm not going to walk you through the nuts and bolts of how to actually create websites or a blog. What we're going to talk about in this video is the processes that you might use to get started. First off, I'd suggest you come to the LMS. All the information and resources that will help you get started on Task 1 are available via the LMS. And you can see here I'm just at the top of the page, and if we're wanting to know about Task 1, here in the left navigation you can simply click on Task 1 website and blog, and that will open out all of the information for that particular section. So as you can see here on screen, you've got the information about the due date. Make sure you get started early. Don't leave it till the day before or 2 days before. Most of the tasks in this unit will take you longer than you expect. Is first have a look at the task details. This is where you might want to pick up a notepad and a pen and start taking some notes, or open a Word document and type some information in. But to be a self-directed learner means that you need to ask questions. What is it that you need to do? What should I be doing to complete this task? Continually asking yourself those questions and looking for the answers. So if you go to the task details, you can see here that you're going to create a personal professional website that you will use to present all your work in EDM 113, and a blog to reflect on your learning throughout the semester. So what do we need by create a personal professional website? It's your personal website. It's one that's going to reflect you and your personality, but it needs to be of a professional standard. You would create a website that you would be happy for other teachers to look at, potential principals to look at, your students to look at, or your student parents to look at. So that means you need to take care about things like spelling, you need to take care about how you write and what you write, and you need to present yourself in a professional manner. That also means that when you're uploading photos, they should be of you, not your cat and your dog and you out for a walk, or your partner or your children. This is your website and it should reflect the professional you. With regards to the website, by now you might be sitting there going, oh wow, I don't know how to do a website. I don't know anything about websites. Don't you need a degree to be able to create a website? Well, the answer to that is no. There are heaps and heaps of free online tools that will help you create a website. If you can use a word processing document like Word, then you'll be able to create your own web page very quickly. And in actual fact, we'll do a demonstration in Lecture 2 on campus about creating a website. So at the moment, we're just thinking about the process of it. And we're looking here and we're going, okay, what do you need to do to make this website? You need to create 2 pages, a home page where you're going to write a brief introduction to explain what your website is about and include a hyperlink. So here might be where you're jotting down notes going, what is a hyperlink? Or I have no idea how to make one. How do I make a website? What tools could I use to make a website? What is a hyperlink? Or how will I make a hyperlink? Just start taking notes. Ask yourself these questions and then you're going to be able to find the answers to them. The next page that you're going to create is an About Me page where you're going to write a brief bio about yourself and add a photograph of yourself and either your contact email or a contact form. So a contact form is something that's built into a lot of the websites so that you don't have to put up a personal email, or it might be that that particular website has a button you can add on that you can put your email on, or if you just want to type your email onto the page, I would suggest you just use your student email at Murdoch. Next, we're going to create a reflective journal in the form of a blog. You need to reflect and comment on your learning and the processes you use to complete Task 1. And you can refer to the blog guidelines and the Task 1 marking rubric to help you with that. There are resources and further support information available on the LMS. So let's just go back to the Task 1 section on the LMS and have a look at some of that support that's there for you. First off, here on the left-hand side, there's an example website that we've set up for you to have a look at. So you can click on that and go in and have a look at the sort of thing that you're expected to produce. And you can see here it's got a home page, and it's just a little about why this particular site has been created. If you think about any website that you go to out on the web, the first thing you want to do is find out what that site is about, what information does it have, why are you here looking at it. So your home page should tell people that. And I've also included an image on that home page just to make it a bit more interesting. The About Me page, I'm just clicking on that now. You can see I've written a little bit about me. I put a few personal snippets in over there. There's my photo that I've uploaded and a few ways of how to contact me. If you wanted to start another page, you're most welcome to. We're actually only going to be marking the home page and the About Me page, but it's always a handy idea to start a page where you can store your resources that you can come back to at any time. So I'm just going to close that window down. And here now you can see an example of a blog. Now this is a blog created by a student a couple of years ago in 2013, and it will give you an idea of the type of things that you might want to write about. And in your blog, it's very common for people to write what they did. To be reflective is to talk about how you did it. Saying stuff like, I learnt a lot, doesn't tell me anything. I'm sitting here going, so what did you learn? So you need to elaborate a little bit more in your blog. You need to say what you learnt and how you learnt it. Did you research it on the web? Did you follow the links to the technology toolbox? Did you have a conversation with friends? And also be thinking about how your learning might be useful in your future as a teacher. So that's just a few hints to get you started with your blog, and we'll be talking about that in more detail as we go through the unit. But back to the LMS, and you can see here in the Task 1 section under the details, there's a link to the lecture schedule. And in the lecture schedule, you will find links to videos that will help you with this particular Task 1. The How to Get Started on Task 1 you can see is not up yet because that's what I'm recording right now. But there is already information about how to select a website platform, how to select a blog tool, how to submit your Task 1 on the LMS. Okay, and there's some links to the technology toolbox that also gives you information about web tools and blogs, etc. So make sure you come in and have a look at the resources available. I'm just going to click back on Task 1. Okay, there's a Task 1 question and answer forum. So after you've had a search around and you can't find an answer to your question, by all means, start a new discussion topic. Make sure you give it a clear heading. So if you've got a comment about the marking rubric, use the existing one. If you've got a comment about websites and blogs, use the existing one. If you've got a new comment, add a new one with a clear heading so people know what it's about. And there's some tips here about how to get started before asking your questions here on the LMS forum. Further down the page in Task 1, you can see the activity regarding the textbook discussions. If you click on this, you'll see that there's a couple of chapters that you should have read before starting Task 1, and they will help you with writing your information and understanding the goal of authentic learning. You're not entitled to actually read other people's posts if you don't post your own. So after you've read the textbook, come down and click on the Writing with Technologies, for example, and post your reply to the guide questions, which are listed here above, and they're also listed in the forum itself. And finally, here under the support resources, you can see the blog guidelines. They give you more specific information about what you could include in your blog. As I mentioned earlier, not just what, but how. So you might be talking about the contents, you might talk about your attitudes and feelings about learning new things, the strategies, so how you learnt, what did you do. And the second page gives you some examples of bad posts with the no and better good posts with the yes. So have a look at the blog guidelines. The other links here is the web creation tools and the blog creation tools. But the key things that you'll be looking for here on the right is which technologies could you use to build your website. And these are a few of the recommended ones listed here. Note next to Yola that we've got the free version only allows 3 pages. Don't use this particular tool because although you're only creating 2 pages for Task 1, you're going to be adding another 3 pages in Task 2. So that means you're going to need a minimum of at least 5 pages, and the free version only allows you 3. So don't use Yolla. You can also, if you go down the screen, find tutorials and support. Same thing with the blog tools. The link will take you to the technology page for blogs, and there's lots of information there for you to read up about why you should blog and some of the benefits of blogging. And tutorials and supports again. You can either use the blog tool in the website you select, or you could use one of these dedicated blog tools. Personally, I would recommend that you try to use different tools, one for your web and one for your blog, because it may be that as a teacher in the classroom you just want students to create a blog, in which case one of these tools would be much better than the website blog that you might use. Check them out and learn as much as you can while you're here in this unit. Underneath that you'll find a section where you can submit your Task 1 marking rubric. You can see greyed out above that the Task 1 rubric will be here once we release it. Remember at the beginning when we looked at the task details, I said to jot down some questions such as how would I create the website and what tools might I use and what is a hyperlink. By the time you've finished having a look at all the information, hopefully most of your questions will be answered and you'll be able to start on Task 1 feeling quite confident. Remember, if you can't find the answer by Googling it or looking up the help area for that particular tool that you've decided to use, you can come down to the Task 1 section and post your questions into the Task 1 Q&A forum.